Right, so visual mind map to begin with. Yeah, interesting choice. I'd be thinking to revisit and see if there's things that you can pull out that you might want to use later on or expand upon and so on. Remember that with the art, it's all about building your own narrative in there. So it's very much your own. It's very much your own project. It means that you have to do keep an eye on these things. I think we've been through these already. You've got a copy of this?
Yes.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's these four things. So a different kind of thing from the BTEC where you're kind of ticking things off. This is much more something where you are building a narrative, a convincing story of how you go about this sort of process here. And to keep an eye on that as the book develops, to see that things are kind of knitting together a lot. So the questions when looking through this, we're thinking, do we have someone here who's exploring different stuff? Do we have someone here who's kind of starting to knit things together? Is all the information down and recorded? And then later on, do things start to emerge which are very much your own work? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, already we're somewhere kind of interesting. I've seen things join up. There's it'd be possible to be sort of more liberal with the amount of images you use. If these are, I think these are selected from probably a group of photos. Yeah. So having, maybe not in this book, but having somewhere where other photographs are kind of stored up, maybe a kind of a more of a scrapbook in accompanying with this book, so we can kind of see the sort of the full range and that you selected and so on. But you kind of you kept with it. You kind of reflected on it and connected up to the Michael Chance. And again, we're getting something which is kind of derived from earlier imagery, but starting to shift a bit into something else. Yeah, possibly. I mean, even at this early stage, the kind of function of mind mapping can be one which is literally just building on thoughts that you have in relation to this. So it could be that you, when looking closely at this period, when thinking about things that they said, when finding fresh information about the sorts of ways in which they worked, if it triggers any sort of if anything sticks when you're reading through it, or it triggers any sort of imagination, things in your imagination or things that you associate with what you're looking at, then recording that also, just to kind of chase down any leads. So some pages could be slightly sort of less formal in a way, and could be more speculative, more thinking, well, what if Matisse thought in this particular way? What if how is this different, perhaps? If we can connect this up to the John Cage and the Rauschenberg, the spontaneity of it, the sense of interior as well. We've got sort of looking again at this. It might be early days to impose some kind of focus in this way, but you've got this the photographs of the interior, and then you have the responses and so on. But perhaps there could be some way of revisiting, so that you're thinking again about interiors, but with something that's quite spontaneous and improvised. You're looking at that sort of thread running through it. There we go, proof. What you've done here, experiments, interior. Have you got enough images? You've got access to all the images and the things that you did? Yeah. And so this, I guess, is your thing, something you've brought to it. Yeah. Great. That's what we want to see. And so digging deep, thinking about what he might have been inspired by. We've got that, but let's build more. It's like the kind of traces of a narrative are starting to emerge, but we want to kind of flesh it out and extend it and see what it's all about. It reminds me slightly of Delaunay. This, remember Delaunay? It's a
Yeah, I do.
Delaunay. Probably got that there somewhere. Yeah, so it's kind of what you think about. Here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, terrific. Revisiting my maps is always a good plan.
Yeah.
And again, here some thoughts. The business of actually, possibly writing down what the experience was like.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be a way to go. Yeah, here we go. There we go.
These
Yeah,
are
yeah.
process
So that's it.
pictures.
Process pictures of the making. That's good. But I think a sort of a time-based thing before we go into next Tuesday, something where you reflect on your experience of engaging in this and the feelings, the concepts, the sort of changes of mind, the things that were deliberate and the things that were not, and all that sort of stuff would be a really revealing in terms of your engagement in it. If there are more photos, feel free. I mean, these are your photos, aren't they?
Yeah, these are here, and then these are the ones that I got from the.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking this kind of precisely and concisely sort of maps out where you sort of journey through things. To be kind of moving further on up here, it's about strengthening all aspects of the process that you've engaged in. So looking for connections, building connections. When you find some information or artist, whatever you like, going that bit deeper into quotes, into people who've written about them, thought about them, videos they've made, all that kind of stuff. Just getting more and more immersed will help you move on up. There's a kind of even balance, I think, between these at the moment.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Great.